The Witch. Which one is that?
Halloween 3.
That used to come on Channel 11 all the time. Be like, tonight at 7, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. And you would just see children walking down the street, you know? I feel like Michael Myers was barely even in that movie. It's just weird.
You know what? That silhouette of the 3 kids in the 3 costumes, I feel like that is what influenced the 3 trick-or-treaters in The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, why not?
Such a good movie. This is Christmas, fa la la.
Oh man, that movie.
This is Christmas.
You gotta love that movie, man. 100%. I don't.
She keeps poisoning that guy.
My turn or your turn? I'm sorry. I got caught up in the reverie.
Now it's your turn. I chose Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Okay, that's right. I'm going to take Jason Goes to Hell because that is my flavor of bonkers.
It's amazing.
So is Jason X. Honestly, for me, it was between those two, and you just decided for me when you picked one.
Listen to me. Jason Goes to Hell is amazing because you get the guy who played Tommy Gunn's manager in Rocket 5. And he is just, the medical examiner who is hypnotized by the heart, the dead beating, suppurating heart of Jason Voorhees. Yeah, I'm going to be a psycho. And then we just go into the hidden. Like, we're just going to rip this movie off. The
Hidden and Evil Dead with the Necronomicon. So it's like the alien from the Hidden was killed, went to hell, came back as a Deadite worm, and then created Deadite zombie vengeance demons.
There's 2 moments.
And then I was going to say, and then the Necronomicon shows up in the Venture Brothers when, during the trial of the Monarch, Dr. Orpheus, I'm not going to swear on your Bible. I have a different book. But be careful. Don't put your fingers near its mouth. It's bitey.
The 2 moments I love about Jason Goes to Hell are at the beginning, that lady, she's an FBI agent, and they just blow him to smithereens. Where they get the generators for those lights, by the way? I just want to know that setup. But then what if Jason walked through and they were saying, I love when they blow him up. And then I love when that dude speared with the Letterman jacket, but he looks about 40, spears Jason through the window. Because the trope is him throwing people through windows or him exploding. I love that Jason, and then he had the playground fight and destroyed the guy. But for one beautiful moment, that dude speared Jason through a window. It was beautiful. Oh, I love that scene.
I never understood if dude in the Leatherman jacket was supposed to be just graduated from college or guy trying to reclaim his misspent youth. Because how old is he? Who are these people? And that's why it's great when they all die.
He does that cool handcuff thing, too. Remember he has a handcuff and he jumps over him? He's a surprisingly athletic dude. That movie.
The Letterman jacket has to mean something. Okay. So I picked Scream. I picked Leprechaun. I picked Halloween. I picked Fred. Okay. So the last one, Nightmare on Elm Street, right? Okay. It's got to be Freddy versus Jason, man. Sorry.
That's strong.
Freddy versus Jason is not only a love letter to fans of both series, but just a love letter to fans of horror up till that point in general. Every little trope that you could have, getting drunk at the party, check, sexy co-eds, check, the one virginal girl is there, check. And then Freddy, not only is it Freddy versus Jason, finally, the hand-to-hand combat that makes sense, but Freddy is doing martial arts.
Right. Jumping roundhouse kick.
He comes out of nowhere with the bow from just what is that? Muay Thai? It's such a great fight. That fight is so awesome.
There's a couple characters I like in that one too. The kid Mark, I think his name is. I thought he was a pretty good actor in that. He kind of drew me in. I would just be staring at this. I don't even know who to vote for right now. All right, John, who's your last pick?
Well, I guess it's going to be Scream 4. There aren't a lot to pick from Scream, but it didn't hit super awesomely for me when it dropped. But I liked what they were trying to do, and there weren't really a lot of movies at the time that were trying to do instead of starting over, we're going to do it, or instead of starting a new timeline, instead of rebooting, instead of simply forgetting everything that happened with the past characters, we're just going to give you a part 4 with new characters. Instead of all that shit, they're like, hey, here's this new cast, but the old cast still exists in this world. It's almost like your Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 where Nancy comes back as the therapist, but it's just one character. This is a merging of really 2 conceptual franchises. I like that they tried to do that We're going to see more of that in the not too distant future with Scream 5. So again, while the movie didn't quite hit with me, but maybe part of that is because that younger cast isn't my generation's cast.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, and I just want to pretend that they're vampires and they'll stay the same age and I can keep seeing Scream sequels forever, but I can't. So I like what they tried to do. I'm going to give that to them. So I'm doing Scream 4.
There's 3 moments I really like in that. I like when Gail Weathers tells that deputy Dewey's partner cop, she's like, your lemon squares taste like ass. I love that line. And then I like Kirby in it. I think Kirby, Hayden Panettiere, is really cool in that movie. And then I also like Jill. She's making this whole speech about wanting to be famous and be on social media in 2010. I'm like, look where we're at in 2020. So, I mean, even though we had all the Twitter, Instagram, all that in 2010, it's still maybe more relevant now. So it's hidden. It hasn't really aged the theme. So I dig that about it. 3 though has Parker Posey and she just makes everything better. So I love Parker Posey in Scream 3. And her and Warburton.
I don't know.
Weird.
When I see Parker Posey, I don't know if she wants to tell me about the good news that Jesus Christ is coming back to save us all from an eternal damnation, or if she wants to knife me in the back. Her eyes are so creepy,
That makes
man.
a lot of sense.
You know what? In Scream 3 too, I know she's always kind of had, you know, her Parker Posey looks, but she kind of had that like angry, jealous lip quiver that I just loved to hate in Blade Trinity.
Yeah.
Yes.
When you first see her walking in slow-mo when Ryan Reynolds is like, she's my ex, you see her walking in slow-mo, your introduction to her in Blade Trinity, and she has that like, it's almost like a resting bitch face meets Rocky's sneer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And when she says, and you'll feed, this thing her mouth doesn't feed.
The quiver. She has a quiver, though. She has a quiver.
Yeah. Yes.
Posey. She's the best.
Real quick, I got a question for you guys about part 4 here.
About Scream 4 or Noe's 4?
Yes, Noe's 4.
Get us back on track.
Thank you. Okay. Debbie, right? She's eating those whatever chips in that bag. Where does that roach come from?
I mean, that was in the bag of her potato wedge things.
Okay, so it's not just me, right? Because I'm thinking
it was in the bag the whole time she was sitting there talking and eating other chips.
5.
Yes,
okay.
It had to be.
Okay. Has this ever happened to you? Have you ever opened a bag of chips and just found a living creature inside?
Do you think she opened it in her car? Or did we see her open it?
Well, no, hold on. Don't forget, this was like a takeout bag, though. These were like potato wedgie things.
Oh, okay.
They were hot.
Yeah.
They were hot things. So I think she went to like a fast food place on her way to school.
Right.
Got it.
Right. And so like it probably came from the fast food place because we know they're all glowing icons of
cleanliness. Yeah, totally. So she's got these chips in the bag or whatever the hell they are in the 40 paper bag and just munch, and then look, and it's not a baby cockroach in the bottom of the ship eating all of the grain storage for the last 30 years cockroach. It's just father of cockroaches. So how the hell did she not notice that thing? And it's alive. It wasn't even dead. This has been on my mind for decades. It's just that freaks the hell out of me, that part. Yeah. And then Rick is telling her to calm down, and I'm thinking, no, she has the appropriate disgust level here. There's a living roach for her food.
Do you think that up until that time there was ever such a squishy cockroach squitch? And second part of that question, do you think Starship Troopers was influenced by Nightmare on Elm Street
I
Part
think
4?
Men in Black did it first. Remember who you squishing the cockroaches? And then I think it went, and then Starship Troopers too. So it influenced all those.
John, here's the thing. You said you're from the Northeast, right? I was born in Brooklyn. I grew up in Queens. And, I
was born in Manhattan. I was baptized at St. Bart's.
There you go. Okay. So
my kind of guy.
So you know what it is, John. You know, when you live in those apartments in the early 80s, in the big apartment buildings, you turn on that light, you see they run away, all right? And when you step on a roach, don't tell me there's not goo coming out, man.
Roaches have a specific smell too, don't they?
That's right. That's right. They have a smell, they have a crunch, and they have a goo. Was there a lot of goo? Yes. But that was a big-ass roach. So I don't doubt the level of goo.
Those are cheesy nacho levels of goo.
Exactly. There's no way in hell that the level of goo that came out of that roach she stomped was inappropriate. Now, the Starship Troopers ones, those are like Madagascar cockroaches, man.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So pretty sure that, not an inappropriate level of goo there either.
You guys want to hear something cool?
Yeah.
So based on my research, the guy who made the cockroach gag, his name is Screaming Mad George. Yeah.
Yes, that's what he said.
And he's worked on a bunch of movies, and you watch it behind the scenes. He's just this hilarious guy. But I found out that they use jelly donut consistency to make that slime that she gets stuck into. And John, this is gonna be the greatest moment of your life. One of the guys who set all this up, who did all the like goo and everything, he goes, slime is very important in horror movies. And I went, John is very happy about this. That's like one of these guys
it's the most important
But I love that line. He's like, yeah, slime is very important in horror.
I want to buy that guy a case of beer and drink it all with him.
Jamaican air horn, man. Definitely. You got to have that goo. And now that brings me to another thing, okay? Because you mentioned they check in, but they don't check out, right? The Roach Motel, the greatest gag. To me, there have been so many iconic kills in these movies because there's like 9 of them. But the cockroach death with her, I think that's the best one. I think that's the best one out of all of them because I watch Nightmare on Elm Street movies for Joe. These are hilarious. Like even though the first 2 are really dark, by the time you get to 4, 5, 6, these are hilarious. Freddy's joking, but man, she is first of all breaks her arms backwards, right, and then the dangle.
That's why you got to trust your spotter. You don't just pick anybody.
Thank you. And then, side note, also, those weights, perfect chrome silver. Like, how much money does this girl have? But anyway, so with the dangling arm, she runs, trips, falls, and then her face gets stuck. And as she comes up, her skin peels off, revealing just the perfect cockroach face. And it doesn't look like a fake cockroach face, even though this is a Freddy movie on like a $2 million budget. And then the noise is, it curls my blood. Because like I said, I hate cockroaches, dude. I have that. That's my thing from growing up in New York City. Just those things are everywhere. And that's what they look like. And then they check in, but they don't check. And there's another cockroach struggling on the side.
Stuck in there.
Right. I was just like, oh, jeez, this makes my skin crawl.
And you still see her regular legs with her pants like floundering behind the body.
Okay, so rank the kills.
Ooh.
Rank the kills. To me, that's number 1. To
and
me,
the whole
that's
franchise?
Are we ranking the kills in part 4?
We can start with the ranking of part 4 and then just series wide.
For me, gets me the worst because how mean it is.
Oh, it's so
when
mean.
he just kills a former addict with
the needles.
It's so mean.
And her track marks were like little puckering.
It's not the most elongated. I mean, you think she'll die with the weights, but then she dies as a cockroach, and it's brilliant.
Exactly.
But I guess for me, what I think about on a daily basis is just for me, I just get hit really hard by that death. But in this movie, I mean, Debbie's death. I mean, what could even match it, right? We have the suck face. We have the Kincaid getting stabbed, Joey in the waterbed. It's by far, I think, the best kill.
Or Freddy's death himself.
Oh, yeah, when he gets ripped to shreds with all the... You know that big body?
By all those little gangly arms.
You know that big body with all the people in it fell over, and there was someone on the rafters holding it, and it took her down? They said little Kamiko?
I saw the footage of that woman at the top of the rafter controlling it falling down. And then she's fine, and they take like a group trophy shot in front of the thing.
It's insane.
Shout out to Linnea Quigley, who gets credited as literally soul in Freddy's chest.
Does she really?
She gets the boob shot. Yeah, that's right. Soul in Freddy's chest.
But yeah. But, for me, it's got to be that one, just because you think it's going to end at the weights. And I think it's a Renny Harlin classic, because like Long Kiss Goodnight, there's a chase scene, but then she gets on ice skates and chases something down. In Cliffhanger, you think it's going to end on a mountain, but then the two end up fighting on a helicopter that's precarious on the side of a cliff. Like I think, and then Deep Blue Sea, Jim Whitlock gets his arm bit off, dragged around, used as a battering ram. I think Renny loves long deaths. Like Die Hard 2, he takes a helicopter to the plane, he has fistfights on the plane, and then he blows up the plane.
You're totally right, man. But Debbie's death is first, then Sheila, because I used to have asthma as a kid, and that was the worst.
Because she was cool too.
So
I liked
first
her.
Debbie-
So I noticed an additional irony to
sweetheart.
Sheila's death, even though she had asthma. Debbie comments about, she should pay more attention to boys, basically, and she says like she doesn't have time for that, essentially. So I think that we were also witnessing what would have been her first